Hey guys, Martinkin here, bringing on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. And so I know with all the confusion going on Global at the moment, with us waiting to see what was going to be dropping right before the anniversary, things looking one way, then some news came out making things look maybe a different way, and then we circled all the way back around to the reveal that the Ginyu Force would be the Part 2 LR. Despite the fact they are releasing onto a global landscape where they really don't have the team that they want to be run. I'm going to be doing a video talking about them and their banner in more detail tomorrow, when we talk about the potential for whether that banner is worth summoning on or not. But I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at the banners that most people should be thinking about, or most people will be concerning their thoughts with. And that is, of course, the big one, right? The thing that we've all been saving for, the reason why so many of these banners from the beginning of the year, basically, for Global, have been a skip for all players. And that is, we are going to take a look at all of the banners that are up during the anniversary. So make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are on the road to 30k subs. I really want to try and hit that one by the end of the anniversary. So if you enjoy the video, do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out all the links down below, and we're going to jump straight in. So obviously, starting off here with the ticket banner, this is the easy go-to one. We are currently getting a bunch of free tickets for this one. Make sure you are, of course, logging in and doing your missions. There's a new set of missions every week, and one of the missions that lasts across the entire month is for daily logins. So even if you're not doing much on the game, make sure you do log in. At the time of recording, this video is going up on the 18th of June. If you've been logging in every day, you should be at 18 out of 25 for the login for 25 days total. That is the only mission that you would be unable to complete at this point. If you've done all of the other ones, then obviously you should have the maximum number of tickets available up until like right now, which I believe, just double checking the ones that I've got here. Where are they? 62. So if you've done all of the missions so far, you should have 62 of the tickets for this 9th anniversary banner. They do give out a bunch more during the anniversary. I think we get a bunch with one of the first like rewards. I don't know if they're even going to call it top grossing anymore, because with big celebrations like the anniversary, they pretty much always match JP. So even if Global technically didn't hit top grossing, we'd still get like the same rewards, and they'd call it like a thank you reward or something like that. But they give out a bunch of these tickets during the anniversary. Some of the featured units, I mean, they're not the craziest characters in the world. The STR-18 AGL Mamba, relatively decent. The Armand and Raisin can still be decent on like the Space Traveling Warriors team. STR Krillin, unironically, still kind of good. Gawasu and Zamasu can still be runnable with their EZA. There's a bunch of random units, like none of them are particularly crazy, but they are free summons at the end of the day. And then, of course, all of the LRs are unfeatured on the banner. So this is why you should never turn your nose up at the opportunity for free summons, because there absolutely will be people out there that will pull LRs off of this banner for free with the tickets that they farmed up from doing these missions. So do make sure you go ahead and do that. Get as many free summons as you can. But of course, let's jump into the main focus of the video and what we're all here to see, and that is the banners that we have been saving our stones for this whole time. Now, of course, for part 1 of the anniversary, we get the AGL Broly, who is the Dokkan Fest exclusive LR, and then we get the physical Super Gogeta, who is the Carnival LR. Now, funnily enough, Global did actually already show the full banner listing for these banners when they had the news entry for those tickets, because they have been selling ticket packs on Global. The only way to get them is to actually purchase them. So unfortunately, there is no extra tickets for free-to-play players at the moment. But those will give you 10 tickets for when the anniversary starts. You're able to do 2 5-ticket multis on both of the banners if you've been buying all of the packs. But the banners themselves, so these release in part 1. Broly, of course, the headliner for his banner, with the Int Golden Frieza as the side banner unit, because this is the Dokkan Fest banner. The Int Golden Frieza is a Super Bosses support unit. So obviously, if you are going for Broly, or you're going for Super Bosses in general, this guy will be very good. Now, of course, remember, with the way banner structures work, if you're somebody who's thinking about saving all of your stones for part 2, technically, when you summon on the Gamma's banner for part 2 and the Beast Gohan banner for part 2, this Int Golden Frieza will be in the unfeatured pool. But of course, you know, as we know at this point, right, unfeatured SSRs, it's very difficult to get a specific one that you want. So for me personally, I am really hyped for Broly. I know most people don't consider him to be the best. I mean, you know, I say that because most people consider Beast Gohan to be the best unit from the anniversary. Obviously, he's like the best unit in the game, basically. But Broly's one of the most hyped ones for me. I really like the Super Bosses team. I really like Broly. So this banner will be good. The Golden Frieza is a really good support unit. Tech Fusion Zamasu can definitely still cook in some of these difficult events with his damage reduction. Obviously, the biggest issue with Super Bosses and some of these villain characters is the domains not overlapping. But of course, in situations where you are able to use his domain, he becomes an absolute, like, completely invincible slot 1 tank. So which is, you know, very, very useful. Then we have, of course, the 8-year Boo duo. A lot of people down on them quite heavily since their release, but they can still be decent in some of these longer events. They're definitely not good at taking super attacks even into some of these long events, which is a shame because they really do only have raw defense. But they can be pretty decent still. STR Final Form Cooler. I mean, unfortunately, he's kind of, you know, his best days are behind him, I guess we could say. I did use him in a video against Red Zone Kid Buu recently, and because he can attack lower, if he gets enough additionals, and other units on the team have been lowering attack a little bit as well, if he gets enough, like, 12 key supers that raise his defense for the turn, he can tank relatively well. He's obviously not going to be eating a super from Kid Buu. But yeah, STR Cooler, like I say, his best days probably behind him. The Tech LR Gods, of course, in a similar sort of boat, but they will be getting their anniversary. They'll be getting their EZA with the 10th anniversary, which, of course, once the sync comes into play, is only going to be about 6 months after this anniversary for Global. So that's a very interesting prospect. The physical Blue Boys, the Blue Evolution Vegeta and Blue Kaioken Goku, these guys get an EZA during the celebration. So they're a very good unit to pull off of this banner if you are summoning. 5-year STR Gogeta still very much usable with his EZA, same for Vegito. And then Broly's just kind of the token, like, hey, here's like an old version of the main character on the banner kind of unit. So obviously not particularly valuable. But overall, the banner still pretty decent. Broly very good, Golden Frieza very good, Merge Zamasu still very useful, and then the Blue Boys are going to EZA, they're very good, and the 5th year LR is still very good now, and then of course the Gods, very good potential for the future. And then the Carnival banner for part 1 is the Super Gogeta. So Super Gogeta is the main featured unit, and then we have some other Carnival LRs returning. We have the Sword of Hope Trunks, we have the Int Kid Gohan, the Physical Metal Cooler, and then in terms of other LRs, we have the Tree of Might Goku, STR UI Goku, who gets his EZA during the countdown to the celebration. So obviously if you don't have him maxed out and you've done his EZA during the countdown, you can potentially get copies of him from the Gogeta banner. And then we have 3 units that are EZAing during the anniversary on here as well, which is the physical Broly that, of course, awakens into the Broly trio. They become a very, very good, very strong unit for the Super Bosses team. Then we have Bardock and Gine and the Int Broly and Paragus. They both EZA during the anniversary as well and become very solid units. They're not anything super crazy, but I can say in advance, like, every EZA during the anniversary is good. Even the one that I would say is the worst one is still pretty good out of all of them, right? So the EZAs during the anniversary are fantastic, and there are a couple of units getting their EZAs on this banner, and then the rest is just unfeatured. And then, of course, all the other LRs and the general unfeatured pool are in here as well. So you can pull any other LRs and a bunch of the other unfeatured units on this banner. But obviously, if you are summoning on this one, the main goal is going to be Gogeta. Gogeta is a crazy unit, right, with the target, active skill, and all of that good stuff. Superheroes, by the end of the anniversary, becomes an absolutely busted team. And of course, this is the other banner that you can use those tickets if you've been stocking them up from part 1. And both of these, of course, have the 3+1 for the, like, 400 hours, which is, you know, a pretty significant amount of time. And on Global, every multi-summon gives you 3 tickets, and then you can do a multi for 10 tickets. It's every paid multi, so every 3+1, the +1 is free, so you don't get tickets for that one. So every 3+1 rotation, you get 9 extra tickets. So, of course, Global players, especially those of you who have been saving like crazy for the anniversary, get a ton of free summons. out of those extra tickets, which is very, very good. And then we move on to part 2, and that's where a lot of people's attention is solely focused even before part 1 begins, and that is because the first major banner is the STR Beast Gohan. He is the Dokkan Fest exclusive, and then the other banner is the Int LR Gamma 1 and 2, and of course they are a Carnival LR Super Int unit. So Beast Gohan, this is the banner that people are waiting for more than anything. He is the best unit in the game, basically. Destroys all anniversary content, destroys like all the Buu Saga Red Zone, because of course for JP that was post anniversary content. And this banner is very good as well, because of course it has the counterparts to a lot of the dual Dokkan Fests from the first banner, the Broly banner. So we have Beast Gohan. His banner unit is the Krillin and Android 18, which is a pretty decent banner unit. I don't know if I'd say they're as good as Golden Frieza, but probably mainly because Superheroes is a team that has so many ridiculously good units. There's probably just not a space for them on the team. But they're a decent banner unit. Then we have the Blue Boys. I know a lot of people really don't like them, or at least don't like their fusion condition. But of course, Vegito Blue can still go pretty crazy, even against events like Kid Buu. So that's very good. The GT Duo definitely have a better lease of life than the Buu Duo from the 8th anniversary. That revive can still come in really handy. And obviously the fact they build up damage reduction, still very, very useful. The AGL Super Saiyans from the Cooler movie. I've never been a fan of these guys since they first released, but obviously there's more and more teams that they're on that are getting buffs that they can be run on. But I mean, they're probably, again, they're not really in their heyday anymore. The GT Duo, of course, are going to get their EZA like the gods with the 10th anniversary and could be really good. I mean, when they fuse into Gogeta, if you get a decent amount of Rainbow Orbs, he can still be pretty good in some of these tough events, because if you get Rainbow Orbs and he gets damage reduction, he can tank most normals relatively well. And then, of course, a Super would kill him, but he has a 50% chance to counter it. And then, of course, the big one for Beast Gohan's banner is AGL UI Goku and Int Blue Evolution Vegeta are on these banners, and they EZA during the anniversary. And a lot of people coming out of the anniversary, whilst most people were calling Beast Gohan the best unit in the game, a lot of people had Int Blue Evolution Vegeta at number 2. Because of how good his EZA is. So that's another big reason to be saving for the Beast Gohan banner, is not only is he insanely good, the GT Duo are on here, better than the 8-year duo, and then the Buu Duo, and then of course these guys with their EZA, definitely much more meta relevant than the 5-year fusions, who are the 2 LRs on the Broly banner. And then Physical Piccolo randomly is on here. I guess, you know, Gohan, there's a Piccolo on there, and then the Go Bros as well, who, I mean, even with their EZA, they're pretty outdated already, but I mean, they're a fun unit. I really want a new version of like the Family Kamehameha on a unit, but yeah, this banner has a ton of value. It's literally got like 3 of the best units in the game, like by the end of the anniversary, which is the 2 6-year LRs with their EZAs, and then Beast Gohan. So, and then of course these two still ain't no slouches either, shall we say. So very, very good banner here. This is going to be 3+1 with the extra tickets and everything as well. We don't yet know whether they'll do the same thing as they did for Broly and Gogeta with those purchasable ticket packs, but it obviously wouldn't surprise me, right? If they're doing it for part 1 in the build up to the anniversary, maybe during part 1 in like the build up to part 2, they'll then be selling ticket packs for these banners for the part 2, but these will have 3+1. They'll have those 3 tickets with every paid multi. So again, a lot of people are going to be getting a ton of free summons by going all in on this banner. And then of course the Gammas as well. The Gamma's obviously overshadowed by how good Beast Gohan is, but this banner is very good as well, because not only does it have the Gammas, who are an incredibly good unit, but we have Future Gohan, who, when you compare them side by side, like with the banners, is definitely better than Sword of Hope Trunks. He's a unit that is still very usable now in the meta. Bulma, still very usable, very, very good support unit. AGL Kai Goku, still very good. Tech Carnival Goku's kind of fallen off a little bit, but with the Super Saiyans team getting a lot of buffs and a lot of things like, you know, Gogeta with the target skill and stuff like that, like he can still be good, and having the revival is quite useful as well. Int Zamasu's pretty outdated. Rose with his EZA though is still pretty good. This Trunks with his EZA is okay, and then random old like God Goku and Blue Vegeta, who are okay with their EZAs. I mean, STR God Goku got his with like, what was it, Saiyan Day last year, so these guys are all pretty outdated at the bottom here. But in terms of the main units, the Gammas, Gohan, Bulma, this Goku, like the top row units, still all very good. Carnival Goku definitely still usable, same with Rose, but unsurprisingly this banner will definitely be overshadowed by the Beast Gohan when it comes to part 2. And of course, remember, one of the big things as well, there is no separate banner for it this year, because the idea here was to talk about all the banners for the anniversary, is when we do the 77 summon, so there'll be a whole bunch of missions. I'll of course make a separate video about this, going over all the missions and everything as we get closer to the anniversary, but you get all of these tickets that will let you do a summon on a banner where you get 77 units. In previous years, it's been a specific banner, and it's been, what, 3 guaranteed SSRs, and the last... Is it the last? Well, it was the last 3 are guaranteed LRs or something, right? I think it was last year. But this year, it's become something way better, which whilst there's no guaranteed like LR, I think it's just guaranteed SSRs, the last 3 units, you can do those summons with the tickets for 77 units in a multi on any one of these 4 banners. So one of the things that I would suggest for a lot of people is, if you're really focused on saving for Beast Gohan, in part 1, when these 2 banners drop, these banners should for Global as well, which is another special thing that Global often gets that JP does not. These banners should have their first 3+1 slightly discounted, so it'll be like 110 stones to do the first 3+1 instead of 150. I would say it's worth doing that, right? Do the 110 stones. That gets you 4 multis, it gets you 9 tickets. Obviously, that's only enough to do 9 singles unless you wanted to throw another multi out there. But if you think about value, another 50 stones, even though you're starting a 3+1, you're not going to finish. That's 160 stones total, in order to get, what, 5 actual multis on the banner because of the 3+1, and then you get enough tickets to do another multi. So it's like 6 multis for 160 stones, which is basically half price. So if you've got the stones to spare, I would say go for the discounts on Broly and Gogeta. And then obviously if that's your mindset, save everything else to go all in for Beast Gohan. And then if you do pull him with your stones in your summons, you're then going to be able to use that 77 multi on any of these banners. So if you did really want Gogeta as a unit to like round out that superheroes team with Beast Gohan, you could then do the 77 unit summon on this banner. I saw tons of clips of people on Twitter from JP pulling either like Beast Gohan, Broly, Gogeta, or the Gammas, like using that 77 ticket summon. So I would say you want to go all in for the unit that you want the most. And if you've pulled them with your stones, you can use that 77 unit summon to try and get one of the other units from the banner that you didn't summon on that much. Or obviously you could just try and get a dupe for the one that you've already got. That's up to you, of course. But those are the main banners for the anniversary. Broly in part 1, Gogeta in part 2, Dokkan Fest and Carnival, and then Dokkan Fest, Beast Gohan, Carnival Gammas, and then of course this ticket banner will be up for the duration of the anniversary, with a whole bunch of tickets available before the anniversary starts, and a whole bunch more given out as the anniversary continues. So let me know down below in the comment section, which of these banners are you the most hyped for? Are you one of these people who are laser focused on that Beast Gohan banner in part 2? Are you going to be dipping into the part 1 banners, or maybe one of the part 1 units is a must have for you, and then you're just going to see what happens when it comes to part 2? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Which banner do you think is the best in terms of the unit lineup? I know a lot of people will just say Beast because it has Beast on it, but which of the banners do you think is the best? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.